नमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Samatvam yoga uchyate and yoga karmasu kausalam together form a recipe for a lifestyle that is a lifestyle of sanity, that is a lifestyle of objectivity, and that is a lifestyle that is very inextricably connected to the assimilation of the knowledge of oneself as free of samsara, free of hurt, guilt, fears, tears and sorrow. And it is inextricably connected with the growing clarity that one has in the wake of this knowledge. So, without karma yoga, then the question arises, can this knowledge be gained without karma yoga? Well, if one is already prepared, yes, no problem. So, so really speaking, the question is, can you gain the preparation through other means? Possibly, but it will involve the same ingredients: sacrifice, accommodation, practicing compassion, all these things which are already the swarupa of the self. And maybe that's happening in other places, and people are not calling it karma yoga, but that it is there. But we have here, it is just a wonderful treatise in the form of preparing for this knowledge that's already ready for us. So the question is, why not use it? Because it is tried, time tested, it is very much complete. The whole knowledge, everything is complete along with the lifestyle. The lifestyle becomes important because this knowledge is not like other branches of knowledge where you teach something, botany or biology, microbiology. You teach it and then what happens? You come home and then it's business as usual. If you teach botany for many, many years, you don't become green and become like a leaf. No. But here, Brahmavit, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Repeatedly it is enunciated that the knower of Brahman is Brahman, quote unquote, becomes Brahman. There's no becoming involved here, but the knower of Brahman is definitely Brahman alone. And that is basically what is being talked about here. And so, if that is the situation, then, the yoga karmasu kausalam, and before that, samatvam yoga uchyate, are not, pieces of advice or recommendations that I can afford to flout. Because the costs of that, as we have seen, are extremely, very, very high, very dear. And so therefore, these two become like the twin, wheels of one's engagement in the world. So first comes samatvam, it has to, because I am looking at the results of my actions. And I'm also looking at my actions. And then what happens? And in the result of the action and in the action, I am weeding out those actions that do not contribute to self-growth. Because this is the change that has happened. Before I was haphazardly just pursuing whatever I wanted. I'm mostly being disappointed because I could not get all the things that I wanted. No, I could not get most of the things that I wanted. But here, the self-growth is the primary goal in life for a karma yogi, not anything else. Self-growth is the primary goal in life for the karma yogi, and if that is the case, all other pursuits subserve this self-growth. And self-growth cannot happen without acknowledging the source of the universe, without which there is no samatvam. And the source of the universe as Bhagavan, as an altar of surrender, because one needs a place to supplicate and to, what is that, to process the disappointments that one is not gaining whatever one wants. Where to take the disappointment? What about the significant other? The significant other is the source of the disappointment, okay? So where are you going to take the disappointment? You know, you have to have a place other than the significant other. But even if the significant other is not the source of disappointment, you know, the significant other will soon just lose the significant and just be other if you keep burdening the person with all your travails and problems and disappointments. Because they also have their own disappointments. They are not really, wanting to listen to yours all the time. What about friends? Yeah, fair weather friends. Yeah. When the weather is fair, the friends are many. And then, you become, this is what the Bhaja Govindam says. You become old, you become decrepit, you are unable to take care of yourself, you need help. So one day somebody will bring soup, no problem, tomato soup, vegetable soup, something will come, no problem at all. Second day also they might bring, third day also they might bring, but after that, everybody gets suddenly they get very busy, suddenly they don't have any time, suddenly, this is how you're left on your own. This is what Bhaja Govindam says, Friends are fair weather friends. When there is money in the bank account, Bhaja Govindam says, and when there is, when there is health, when the health is with you, when you call a few of the shots or at least appear to call a few of the shots, you have some, veneer of abundance and everything, and the health is with you, wealth is with you, and then of course the friends are also with you. Yeah. And otherwise what happens? Vartam kopi na prichhati gehe. Even in your own house, forget friends, even the family members, are a little, have a little trepidation to ask, how are you? Vartam means this kind of chit-chat talk, how are you? Because the fellow has got so many complaints that they are all immediately unleashed. You don't even have to finish the sentence, how are you? You just have to start talking how, and then immediately, oh, the hip is paining, oh, the shoulder is paining, oh, I have spondylitis and I have migraine and I have this grain and that grain, and it'll start. And even a simple question like, did you sleep well? Well, from 10 to, from 10 o'clock to 11, I had a lot of, breathlessness. And then 11, I just nodded off for a bit. Then I saw the time, it was 11:30. And then 11:30, I started to cough. And then I was up till 2. Oh, so you slept at 2. Well, I kind of slept, but then I had to go to the bathroom. And then what happened? So at 3, I think I nodded off a little bit, but then I woke up early because I had all these other things to do and I was worried what will happen to the house and everything. And so I just woke up early. And so, a simple question takes, it's not a short answer. It's not a short answer. And so therefore, when Lakshmi departs in the form of bank account, means Lakshmi is used up, and then what is that? the Lakshmi in the form of health is used up, and Lakshmi in the form of wealth is low, and then what happens? Then Vartam kopi na prichhati gehe. Even in your house, nobody is there. Everybody is afraid to ask how you are doing because, you don't have anything to give. That's what it is. This is what the whole situation of relying on the people that we rely on, instead of Ishvara. I mean, of course, everybody is a manifestation of Ishvara, but here we are looking, we are looking at the source. We are looking at the source, not at the, this is what we studied last night, yesterday, nedam yadidam upasate. Upasana means what you are going after, second meaning. So not what you are going after. That is, we are looking for the source, because that source is what, is Bhagavan. And there is an infallibility connected to that source. That source, is that which is infallible is called the source. Everything else is just a resource. Yeah. So we don't want resource, we don't want outsource, we want the source. Yeah. Why settle for resource and outsource when you can have the source? And that's why the Bhaja Govindam entreats one, encourages one, coerces one. Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Please, Bhaja. Bhaja means Sevayam. Here also the same Seva comes. Make Govinda, make Bhagavan. Govinda means the one who is found in words. Gobhihi vindate yaha. The one whose nature is unfolded through the use of the words of the Veda. Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Oh, you Mudhamati. Mudhamati means what? Oh, you, a person of zero discrimination, very little discrimination. So, please focus on Bhagavan. Please discover Bhagavan as an altar of surrender. And so this is a very important part of Karma Yoga. Yad karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadati yat. Tat tat kurushva madarpanam, Bhagavan says. Yat karoshi, whatever you do, you dedicate it to me. Don't be the author of the action. Even though you have a say over the action, you have freedom there. But, and more about that we are going to talk today. That is what, the second definition. Yoga karmasu kausalam. So even though you have freedom over action, freedom of action, you have, but still, don't put yourself in the unenviable position of authoring the action. The moment you do that, it's a recipe for disaster. So yad karoshi, whatever you do, yad ashnasi, whatever you eat, yad juhoshi, whatever you invoke, you worship, you worship, you invoke, you what is that? You do the fire ritual, etc. Dadasi, whatever you give as charity. I mean, charity word, I really don't like. Whatever you give out in the form of reaching out actions. Whatever you do, tat tat kurushva madarpanam, you dedicate it to me. Let me be, let me be the proxy actor. Actually, what is the truth, Bhagavan? You are the proxy actor. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Arjuna is told in the 11th chapter. Just be a nimitta means just be a instrument. You are just an instrument. You are not really killing these people. Look, they are hanging between, my toes, and they are already hanging between my teeth. And they're being vacuumed off by my mouth, which is they're being siphoned off. All the people who are wrongdoers are going to be justly, the justice is going to come to them. And it is coming to them as we speak. You just do your part. You just be the instrument, I have already killed them, he says. They are already dead. From where I sit, they are already dead. And here you are you're crying over something, over flogging a dead horse. They're already dead. You are just in a place. This is very important. You have a role. Just perform that role. You have a role. You are in a place to do something. Do it. That's what it is. That is Kausalam, really. And we'll be talking more about that. And so here, if you take yourself as the author of action, then you have guilt, you have hurt, you have disappointment and frustration. All kinds of things are there. But instead of taking yourself as the author of action, what do you say? Bhagavan, you bring in Bhagavan as a proxy actor. And this we know, we do this all the time. Like a couple wants to do a fire ritual, they don't know how to do the fire ritual. Who knows how to do the fire ritual? The priest is the one who is trained to do the fire ritual. And now there are women priests. In Pune, there is a priest college where they are graduating and doing very well, chanting the Vedas and performing weddings and everything. So, and fire rituals, all that. So you have to go to a priest because you don't know the know-how, you don't know when to put the ghee, you don't know what to do, nothing. And so we are doing. Yeah, whenever I look, I keep seeing the words frozen, frozen. But unfortunately, they appear after I have talked a bit. What was the last thing you heard? Okay. Not too bad. All right. Yes. There is hope. Okay, the female priest. So, yeah, so so you have to approach a priest, and then you ask the priest, can you please do the fire ritual on my behalf? Because I don't know how to do it. So can I please engage you to do the fire ritual? And the priest, she will say yes. And then what do you have to do? You have to give her a coconut, her or him, you give a coconut, and then in front of the place where the fire ritual is going on, and in front of the deity, Lord Ganesha usually, you make a pact with that priest. And so you, as the Yajamana, you are the real actor, but you are not hiring, because you don't hire a priest, you just give dakshina. That is the whole thing. So you are inviting a proxy actor. And there is a ritual whereby you transfer your doership in the form of this coconut and a few other things, whatever you have to give, some dakshina, etc. And you transfer it to the priest, and the priest accepts the responsibility and says, I'm not doing it, idam na mama, I'm not doing it for myself. Shri Sukta Homa, I mean the Homa for generating wealth and all, I'm not doing it myself. Who am I doing it for? You. In fact, I am you. So that way, we are familiar with this proxy thing. So I'm doing it for you, and then after the fire ritual is done, then that connection between the proxy actor and the one that is the initiator of this action of fire ritual, that connection is also ritually and gently severed. Yes, you are in your place, I am in my place, this ritual is complete, our contract is complete, and we go our different ways. So we are familiar with this. And so similarly, we have to invite Bhagavan. We say, please act on my behalf. And this is a funny invocation and a funny invitation, because Bhagavan is already acting. You are just an excuse here. Bhagavan is already acting. Bhagavan is, powering the body, mind, sense complex. Bhagavan is, powering the buddhi, hopefully. And, this is what we have to see. But this is what it is. So yad juhoshi, yad ashnasi, yad dadasi, tat tat kurushva madarpanam. Dedicate everything that you do, eating, sleeping, and elsewhere. There. Okay, now everybody is getting very, very helpful and telling where it is frozen. Thank you. So frozen when I said dedicate. So you dedicate everything to Bhagavan, and in this case the priest, and at the end of the ritual, the tie that was made is severed. And so elsewhere in the 5th chapter, did you hear about that part? The 5th chapter, fifth chapter, did you hear that part when I talked about the 5th chapter? No, okay. So in the 5th chapter also, yeah, one person saying no is enough because you don't have to work so hard. So thank you. So the 5th chapter, says, Pralapan, Visrujan, Grinhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Api, Gachan, Ashnan, Swapan, Shwasan, eating, drinking, walking, talking, cleaning, sleeping, thinking, all, while you're actually an actor doing all these things. Really speaking, the indweller of this body, which is the 9-gated citadel, Navadvare Pure Dehi. Dehi means the indweller. Dehin, the one inside the Deha. Deha body, in the Deha, Dehin. So the indweller. So the indweller of this body, Sukham Aste, is not really doing anything, meaning the truth of you is a non-actor. How to get at that? Well, you have to study, you have to commit yourself to this teaching. But how to practice that? This is how to practice that. Drag in Bhagavan by any ways, by any means necessary. Drag in Bhagavan as a proxy actor for now. Yeah. Drag in Bhagavan and say, please, I am not doing this. You are doing this. Be my guiding light. And let me not make any big errors here. Bless me to do this properly. Show me how to do this. And then you take yourself out of the equation of being the actor. And that is a very safe position. And we talk of all this corporate stress and people are stressed. People are stressed because they take on the actorship. Yeah. So here the ship is actorship, doership, enjoyership, experiencership. That ship is, is guided by Bhagavan. Bhagavan is described in the Dhyana Shloka as the boatman. Yeah. भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला. अश्वत्थाम विकर्ण घोर मकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः सा उत्तीर्णा पाण्डवैः रणनदी सा रणनदी पाण्डवैः उत्तीर्णा that bloody river of war was crossed over easily by the Pandavas. And the river is described, as Bhishma and Drona are the two banks. Jayadratha is the water. And these are all warriors. Gandhara, I mean, he was a good person. He's the lone little lotus in the water. And then what? Shalya, another villain. Grahavati. Grahavati means a alligator. Kripa, another acharya who was on the other side. Vahani. Vahani means a riptide. Kripena Vahani. Kripa is in the form of the Vahani. And Karnena Velakula. Vela and Akula, two kinds of very dangerous undercurrents, is represented by Karna. And Ashwathama Ghora Makara. Makara means again a crocodile. Ghora means a frightening crocodile with lots and lots and lots of teeth. Yeah. Whole animal is teeth. 3/4 of the animal is teeth. 1/4 is the tail. Finished. That is crocodile. And this is Ashwathama, son of Drona. Okay. Also on the other side. And then now we save the worst for the last. Duryodhana Avartini. Avartini means this undercurrent. On the surface it's a placid water, and then you think, oh, let me go have a nice little swim, and you go in and it catches hold of you and siphons you down. Finish. And even the most adept swimmers, sometimes don't survive this undercurrent. So that is Duryodhana. So this bloody river of war, how did the Pandavas cross so easily? Kaivartakaha, Keshavaha, simple, the boatman. Managing this boat was Lord Krishna. So that's why, give up the doership, give up the experiencership, give up everything and dedicate it to Lord Krishna, who is at the helm of all ships. Yeah. Especially the ship crossing over samsara. Really. And this is, enacted by Arjuna when he, tells Lord Krishna. Both Arjuna and Duryodhana go to Lord Krishna. And then what happens? He tells, both of Krishna happens to be taking a nap. And Duryodhana with all pride stands in front of him. Front of the sleeping person, because it's rude to wake up a sleeping person. I mean, he was as though sleeping, not really sleeping. Bhagavan does not sleep. Okay? Yeah. So, then Arjuna, in all humility, came a little later and sat on the floor by the feet. So if a sleeping person wakes up, they don't see what is behind the head. They see first at, what is right in front of them near their feet. Oh, Arjuna, you have come. How can I help you? Oh, Duryodhana, you are also here. What do you want? And Duryodhana is ready for a fight. He says, I came first, but you asked him what he wants first. Arjuna, you asked Arjuna first. Lord Krishna says, I'm sorry, but I saw him first. So he's going to get the first chance, because Lord Krishna knows they haven't come to have chai with him, Oh, it's afternoon, we thought we'll have chai with the Lord. No, they want something. Each of them wants something, that's why they have come. And so he asks Arjuna first. And Duryodhana is turning purple because he's waiting to exhale. Duryodhana wanted Lord Krishna's invincible army. An army of Yadavas which no one can destroy. Only one Yadava can destroy another Yadava, and so it continues in Indian politics in Bengal and Bihar and elsewhere. Same thing. Only one Yadava destroys another Yadava. No other, nobody else can destroy this invincible army Duryodhana wanted. And he was very frightened that, Arjuna is going to ask for this. If he could have prayed, he only knew how to pray upon things, P-R-E-Y. But if he could have prayed, he would have prayed somehow at that moment and said, oh, whoever you are in charge, please let him not ask for the army. And to his surprise, the prayer is answered. And Arjuna, he's afraid to listen to find out what Arjuna is asking. But Arjuna says, I just want you with me. And Lord Krishna says, did you look at the flag in front of my house? It's a Swiss flag. I'm neutral. I don't fight. Why don't you take the army? No, I don't want the army. I want you. So you would rather have a non-fighting Krishna than a fighting army. Is this your last and final choice? Yes. Arjuna is not at all, is unswervingly certain. He's not at all uncertain that he wants the Lord with him. That is the whole thing. That is Kushalata here. Dedicating the actions to Bhagavan is Kushalata. That's where the expertise comes. The skill in action is really not to take on the role of the actor, really. And then so Arjuna is very clear, I want you. And since you can't really hang around the battlefield with somebody just because they chose you to be with them, Krishna is, making himself useful and dons the role of what? The charioteer. So the charioteer he becomes because of this story. And then interestingly, both go away happy. Duryodhana goes away happy because he got the army. Arjuna goes away happy because he got Lord Krishna. Very, very nice way of, keeping everyone happy. And then, when the war starts, all the arrows have to pass Lord Krishna first before they will even dare touch Arjuna. He's protected. He's protected by this because he is right in front. So every arrow has to pass, and then in fact he's protected in so many ways because there was some, in those days they had mantra-powered missiles. All you had to do is chant the name of the person to whom it was directed against and it would just do that. And there was one horrible missile, Astra, called Nagastra, deployed by Karna. And it had been, the Nagastra had been trained to go after Arjuna's neck. And, and it won't stop until it does that. But it's a one-shot Astra, because if it fails, it self-destructs. This is how it was. But Karna never thought it would fail because he had an unswerving aim. I mean, it was just wonderful. He was a great warrior. And so he just throws this. And then what? And it's coming straight at the chariot in which Lord Krishna and Arjuna are sitting. And what does Lord Krishna do? Because this Nagastra will not stop until it has touched the target. So Lord Krishna just dips the chariot, like this, so that instead of the neck, it just knocks off Arjuna's crown. A little insult, but no injury. And then the Nagastra, thinking it has done its job, self-destructs. So this is how he is protected. Because Bhagavan is there by the side. And when Bhagavan becomes, is there by the side, then nothing can go wrong. But what if things go wrong? That is also right. Sthane, it is in place. It's all in place. And so, like this Karma Yoga is, you cannot have Karma Yoga without Bhagavan on the side. And that's why when the Bhagavad Gita concludes, it does so by pointing out that Bhagavan was on the side of Arjuna. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dharurdharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. Sanjaya concludes. because he's the one who's the narrator. He started and he concludes. And Sanjaya says that wherever there is a Lord Krishna and wherever there is someone like Arjuna, a devoted devotee, and there are the following things to be found: Shrihi, abundance; Vijayaha, success; Bhutihi, material, all kinds of gains and prosperity. And that is what it is. And so this is, this is what is karma yoga, is being able to understand this scheme of things and taking oneself out of the equation of both actor and the result of action. This is what the whole thing is. And then it becomes easy to take the results of action and and to cultivate samatvam. So the Kausalam comes in, it's a related definition and equally important. The Kausalam comes in when we start talking about making choices. Yeah. That's why it's important to relinquish the actorship. That's why that is what is primarily Kausalam, because you're relinquishing the status of being an actor. That is being given up. And then what? And when you relinquish that, then there is a lot of, lot of calmness and inner space, because you're not taking on the role of actor. So anything that comes, you are able to it's easier to take it as prasada. But then here, the choice in the action itself is a very important thing. What method are you going to choose to get what you want? This becomes very, very important. So if you choose a method whereby somebody else is going to get hurt, this is, now we are talking of the various layers of dharma. Somebody is going to get hurt, somebody is going to be in pain, and you're going to ride roughshod over someone else's rights and privileges because of your own problem with entitlement. Are you entitled to ride over other people's privileges? No. But when you do, that is an action. Yeah, it's not, that's already an action, because you have exercised a choice. Oh, but I didn't know I chose that. I just instinctively did this. That's the problem. Prakrita buddhi, not yet Samskrita buddhi. Forget prasada buddhi. So here is where the choices have to be honed in, because every choice that I make has consequences. And in the human being, the choice is so free. The will is free enough to strangulate itself. That is unfortunate. Another paradox of this scheme of things. The will is free enough to, to end up in jail, to make the person end up in jail of some kind. Either you are in the jail, or you are behind the bars of your guilt and hurt. Because really, stone walls do not a prison make. Yeah. Nor do the iron bars of a cage. But what becomes a cage is the bars of your own guilt and hurt. You have imprisoned yourself, through wrong choices and wrong authorship. You have imprisoned yourself. So then we have to have, how to make the choices, because the choice here is a privilege. Ragadveshas are a privilege. And when I see ragadveshas as a privilege, they become vibhutayaha, they become my glories. Just like, Lord Krishna, so many things he likes. We see that there are certain things he likes. What does he like? Yellow color. Pitambara dhari. Flute. He's a flautist, flute player. Very difficult instrument, huh? Yeah. You try playing, only foo, foo, foo sounds will come. Nothing will come. And then some croaking sound will come. Yeah, I have tried. That's what happened. Some croaking sound will come because it's a wind instrument. It's totally dependent on your breath. And if you don't have breath control, whether the flute or the conch shell, all these things when you play, you better be in an open space, because you don't want to scare away your neighbors. So, but for Lord Krishna, he likes the flute. Pitambara dhari, and then what? Murali dhari, Murali dhara, holding the flute, playing the flute, and then what else? Peacock feather, fond of all the milk products, and also the ladies who are in charge of the milk products, the milkmaids, and the people who are tending to the milk products. So he's fond of them as well. So all these are what? Vibhutis. We can't say that they are raga and dvesha of Lord Krishna, because if you take away the flute, he's not going to sit and cry. He's not going to say, I think my mood is off today because my flute has been stolen. It's just terrible. I can't really lead my life without the flute. That's not happening. So that's why we revel in the likes and dislikes of Lord Krishna, because it becomes a certain vibhuti. It enters the realm of the Mahatmya, the glories of Lord Krishna. And so too in your life, when the raga dveshas are treated as a privilege, then they become vibhutis. Little quirks, little idiosyncrasies, a penchant for something, and all these things. Like in babies, you see, some babies also have raga dveshas, and they sometimes enact it also. But since, they are not so preset in everything, they're not so strictly set, you can enjoy it. You can say, oh, that's so nice, it's so cute. After a while, at age 2 it is cute, at age 21 it is not cute at all, it is uncute. So therefore, this, the choices that one makes is very, very, very important, because when the choices are made without discrimination, then they become a stranglehold. They threaten to sink the person and threaten to make them disregard the very values that they would have otherwise respected. So for me to make a choice, I have to have a set of norms that are common with all the other people, other jivas that I share the Jagat with, because they should also respect the same set of norms so that we can interact with one another. And those set of norms is called dharma. We have talked about dharma some, but it's important to look at it, from the standpoint of the definition of yoga karmasu kausalam. First, I had talked about dharma earlier from the standpoint of one's craving for harmony and justice. Now we are going to see it as a global, universal order, a manifestation of Bhagavan. That is, now we are taking it from, first we saw dharma from the standpoint of the individual. Now we are seeing the definition from the standpoint of an overarching order, a manifestation of Bhagavan. And so why this manifestation is given? Because free will is given, and when free will is given, you have to have, some responsibility, some, recourse as to how to lead one's life. Because without which the free will is, Pujya Swamiji would always say, it's like a Ferrari without brakes. Ferrari is, this Italian racing car, huge, fast, and then what? It's just got one thing wrong. What is that? It doesn't have brakes. Oh, and then it's got two things wrong. What's the other thing? It's in the hand of a young and restless fellow, who just got his license 2 months ago. This is what is wrong. This is something that is very evidently heading for disaster. So wherever the will is free, like the Ferrari, it can go 80 miles in a few minutes. It can, rev up. The engine can rev up within a few seconds. It is going 40 miles, and within a minute it is going 80 miles an hour. And so, like this, the free choice without a mechanism to brake, without a mechanism to guide it, no steering wheel, no brake, very, very, very difficult. And so therefore, dharma is the steering wheel, the brake, and also the road. Yes? Advan. So advanaf param gacchati Vishnoho paramam padam. Where have we heard this? Kathopanishad. Yeah. In the Kathopanishad, this, the yoga karma su kausalam is illustrated very, very, very beautifully. A gorgeous illustration. And through an imagery called Ratha Kalpana, the imagery of the chariot. But before that, there is one more imagery. The imagery of two individuals who have gone out for a drink in a tavern, in a cavern, in a cave-like tavern, and both are drinking. Both are drinking. No. One is drinking and the other one is so closely sitting next to it that we think that both are drinking. Vritam pibantau sukritasya loke guham pravishtau parame parardhe chaya tapau brahmavido vadanti ye cha trinachiketaha api vadanti. So, what is this? Both of them are drinking. What are they drinking? A cocktail of karma. Little bit of punya, lot of papa. Again, little bit of punya, papa. Previous actions. Results of previous action in the form of a bitter brew. It's like Karela juice. Karela is like this bitter gourd, it's like a funny looking vegetable. And then you can find it in the Asian markets and everything. And then, so you can make this juice and drink, supposedly good for health, the health of the seller of the vegetable, I think. So, yeah. So, but, this is what you're supposed to drink. And then, but it's extremely bitter, very difficult. And so these two fellows supposedly keep drinking at the, keep shaking it, thinking maybe some more sweetness will come. And occasionally it is so sweet that they are addicted to this drink. They are addicted to the cocktail of karma. They can't let go of that straw. No, just one of them. So who is the other? Well, one of them is the light and one of them is the shadow. So who is drinking? It's anybody's guess. No, the light is drinking. No. The shadow gone rogue is drinking. This shady personality here is the embodiment of ragadveshas. So the ragadvesha is a karmaphala hog, keeps wanting punya, keeps wanting its own way, and keeps, going away from the other one, which is the Dehin, Bhagavan inside the body, mind complex. Yeah, so that Ishvara, who is, who Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. So, Arjuna, Bhagavan is in every heart. So in the heart of this person is Bhagavan. Bhagavan is in the form of the brakes for the free will. Bhagavan is in the form of that discriminatory power about the choices of action, which action to take, which action to desist from. But here what has happened? The shadow has gone rogue and it is not listening to Bhagavan. It is not even looking at Bhagavan, even though Bhagavan is sitting right next to it. It continues to drink, slurp deeply from the dish of, purva punya, hoping that there is punya. and keep on slurping from this dish. Whatever karma dishes out, it keeps siphoning, hoping that there'll be some pleasant experiences. It's an experience hog. And then Brahmavadinaha, the people who know all about Brahman, say there are not two entities. There's only one entity. But what is the other one? The other one is an excuse. It's just a, incarnation, a bundle of raga dveshas wearing a hat. Yeah, wearing a hat and then, going to the bar. That's what it is. And so, see, either way, the raga dveshas are behind bars. So, they are either behind the bar called the jail or they are behind the drinking bar. So, this is what it is. And so, Ritam Pibantau, and this is not Pibantau, even though it's the dual. Sukrutasya Dushkrutasyapi, because the Shruti is very polite. It says they drink the karma from the good karma from the past. Only good karma? No. Also the difficult karma, also they keep drinking, not they. The raga dvesha, in other words, the ahankara, the I notion, attached to or identified with rather the raga dveshas. So I notion, which is just a bundle of raga dveshas, which is identified with the raga dveshas, keeps saying, what does it say? I have complete control over what I do. I am the doer, I am the actor. I'll do whatever I want because I want this and then I want that, and I'm going to just make the Bhagavan inside me shut up. Yeah, this is what it's going to say. And so that is why the whole thing becomes very, very important. And the Kathopanishad then gives an advice, a piece of advice on how to lead one's life gracefully and what kind of rubrics to follow while making one's choices. While making one's choices, what kind of rubric, what kind of standards, what kind of rubric to follow. All this comes under kushalata. All this comes under that which is, ill translated as skill in action. This is the skill. Otherwise it's just kill. Yeah. you know. And the word kill is used very funnily in America. It's very used very funnily. One teenager came to me and his mother said, oh, he's just come after writing some important exam. I said, so how did you do? And he said, I killed it. I said, what? You killed the exam? No. They all explained to me, this is, teen English. So this is teen English for I did very well. This is the crazy thing. So back to this whole thing about choices and making the correct choices becomes very important. And so that's why the journey of life is described as a chariot going on the road. So the chariot imagery is there. And we're going to look at that and then continue with this tomorrow. I'm just going to chant and then translate what is there. Atmanam rathinam vidhi shariram rathamevatu buddhim tu sarathim vidhi manah pragrahame cha indriyani hayanyahuhu vishayamsteshu gocharan atmendriya mano buddhihi bhokta iti ahur manishinah. So the setup is complete. The chariot allegory or the chariot imagery is complete here. Atmanam rathinam vidhi. Know yourself. The self, the I notion, the self here is what? The owner of the chariot, Ratha Swami. Shariram rathamevatu. What is the body then? The body is this chariot, dilapidated, but yeah, whatever it is, needs some upholstering, needs some oil change, all these things. Nonetheless, the body is a chariot because it takes you places. Without the body, what Yes? Where were we this time? Yeah, chariot takes, no, it takes you wherever you want to go. So the chariot, oh, that far back? Oh, okay. So, so the chariot is the chariot is the body is the chariot. Why? Because it takes you places. It takes you where you want to go. Even for the pursuit of moksha, you need a body. You can't just be, hanging around and saying, Guru, I want to study, and the poor guru is looking first if they can hear you. Yeah, because you can't speak without a mouth, so telepathically maybe you communicate, and the poor guru is looking, where is this entity? So you need a adhikari body for even the pursuit of this knowledge. So Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi, know the body to be the chariot. Know the body to be a chariot. Know yourself to be the Ratha Swami, the owner of the chariot. And then what? Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi. The buddhi is the charioteer. The driver is the buddhi. Buddhi is nishchayatmika. The decisive faculty in the mind, is called the buddhi. Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi. Manaha pragrahamevacha. The mind are the reins. The reins are attached to horses. They are 5 in number. Any guess? Yes? Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. They are the horses. Why are they called horses? Because they like to graze in the field and pastures of the sense objects. And this conglomeration, Atmendriya Mano Buddhi, this Manaha Buddhi, Atma, and the self and Indriyas, is, the sum total, the name of it is the consumer, Bhokta. Bhokta iti ahuhu manishinaha. The wise ones say that this conglomeration of this, mind, body, and, senses is called Bhokta, because this is a bhoga sharira. So one takes on a sharira not for yoga but for bhoga. And so that is conspicuous consumption, not for self growth, you know. And so the imagery continues, and we will see how it proceeds, and then how this portion of the Kathopanishad directly informs the Bhagavad Gita's imagery, and very important to the definition of yoga karmasu kausalam. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yes, I thought I'll finish it before it goes off again. Om. Nice to see all of you. Yeah, everybody is here. Very good. Wonderful. Good timing? Great. Wonderful. Very nice. Evening we will see Kathopanishad. Sorry, Kenopanishad. Okay?